Do something, man. People are questioning you.
Shut up. Shut up. Okay, yep, do that. Sure, guys. Stupid and dumb. Just an idiot. Get your shit together, son. Fuck it. I loved it. Welcome to the Dub Cast.
All right. We're back. Almost a month and a half later. UFC 324. We're back. This time on Paramount Plus. Of course, rejoined by the Astound UFC expert, Shane. How's your time been away from UFC? Obviously repping Patriots, so it's been good for us Patriots fans, but it's good to have the feeling of a big pay-per-view back in our lives this Saturday.
Yeah, it is great to finally have the UFC back running again. It was a cool little distraction enjoying the Patriots. But now I'm ready to get right back into this UFC stuff because the last card had me a bit sad. So I need some new UFC fights.
Not to dive in too deep, but do you have any of your guys on this one you're looking forward to specifically?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some. I would say this is one of the cards that I'm hate watching a lot more than I'm fan watching.
Okay.
There's a lot more of the. I shouldn't say how watching because that's a little strong, but there's a lot more of these guys on this fight card that I would much rather see lose than win. So we'll see. But
all right.
I won't give up too much.
Yeah. So if the people have been sticking along with us, we're going to switch it up. So in these pods, we're just going to get right into the picks, what people are here for. It's going to come out on probably Friday. We'll dive right in, not delay you guys any further. And so here we are, UFC 324, Las Vegas, Nevada. Obviously, the first card of Paramount era in UFC. So did you get your Paramount Plus subscription? Are you ready? Are you locked in?
I did. Yeah, I got it. Literally today was payday, so I was waiting for payday, and I was like, I'm pulling the trigger. So Paramount Plus subscription locked in.
Yeah, I have it through Amazon, so I think I just have it because I looked. You can watch full events through Amazon.
Dude, that's the thing that I'm so pissed about because I think it's been like a year now. So I used to work at Walmart, and if you work at Walmart, you just get a free Paramount Plus account. So if you're listening to this and you happen to be working at a Walmart and you're not fucking taking advantage of this, you should be. I'm so sad that they did this now. But
I know, should have done it a while ago. But at the end of the pay-per-view, we can't complain. 2026.
We'll take it.
Yeah,
no more Stream East. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
No more going out to bars. I mean, definitely would never.
Yeah, who would ever use Stream East? Come on. So UFC 324, I think this is a more, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost dense card where the lower, even a lot of the lower fights, there's some good fights in there. Only a couple guys that I don't really know on this one. So let's dive right in with early prelims. First one, Adam Fugitt or Fugitt. I don't know if you know the correct pronunciation.
I believe it's Fugitt.
Fugitt, okay. He goes against a Dana White Contender Series guy in Ty Miller, fought in the Dana White Contender Series in August. So this will be his debut. First fight ever of the Paramount era will be these two boys. So what was your initial thoughts? And, we kind of both sometimes we like to steer clear of this first fight of the night. So was there anything that was kind of sticking out to you in this one?
Definitely. This is another one that I would love to steer clear of. I don't love, but just like you, I don't love betting on that first fight because it can just ruin the night. As well, I don't love betting on or against Dana White Contender Series guys unless I really like their opponent, like who they're facing, because I feel like Dana White Contender Series guys you get no return. It is always they're just such heavy favorites, and I don't trust them to win as much as they are favorites. So
yeah, that was my big question with this one. So obviously Fugitt has been in the UFC for a little bit. I think he's got 4 or 5 fights within the promotion. So do you look at that as a value play, as he's kind of the underdog in this one? Plus
definitely. I mean, I was just glancing over his thing. I mean, his two of his 3 losses are to absolute studs in Michael Morales and Mike Malott. Those are some absolute studs to lose to. So and then Islam Dalatov, who I don't I don't really know that well, but those are definitely people that I could like. That's some those are fine losses to have on your career if you're a middle level, lower level UFC fighter. Like that doesn't deter me at all from fighting on him. Those losses, the Islam Dolatov fight does a little bit, but then again, it's MMA math never really works out when you're looking at that kind of stuff. So some of that's especially going into this new year. I'm trying to look less at the strength of schedule. I mean, I say this wearing a Patriots jersey, but trying to look less at the strength of schedule, more at the current product. And I don't really know too much about either of these guys to put money on either of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I might put like a couple on Fugitt just because you take the experience over. Because I feel like that's been a trend I've noticed at least in the past year or so is these guys coming over. And I know this guy did fight in the Dana White Contender Series. That's a little bit different than is the format of Dana White Contender Series the same as the UFC, or is it 2 rounds? The Ultimate Fighter, I think it's 3, right?
I've definitely watched it live, I think once, and I always watch highlights of it. From my understanding is it's just the UFC finds up and comers from like local promotions and stuff. And then it's just like a card. Like it's not like the Ultimate Fighter where they bring them into a house and they're fighting people that they know. It's more like this is 2 people's shot to make it into the UFC. Like it's kind of like an audition or a tryout to see if they make it. But yeah, I'm not super familiar on it. I'm pretty sure it's just who they pick, and then I'm not quite sure.
Well, I like maybe Fugitt here, and then also over 1.5 rounds. I feel like that's pretty accomplishable. I feel like Fugitt's been into some decisions. Ty Miller's going to need to get some experience under him in this new kind of promotion, so I'll take those 2, and we'll move ahead to the second fight of the night. Ricky Turcios faces off against Cameron Smotherman. So I think I remember Cameron Smotherman was like this big prospect maybe, and maybe you know more about that, but I feel like I remember seeing his name as like kind of like a hyped up guy, but really nothing was jumping out to me from his perspective. And then Ricky Turcios, we talked about him for the UFC 311 video. He took a decision loss to Bernardo Sopage. That was a year ago, so it's been almost a fight in between his 2 fights here. This is one where I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here. I think I'm just going to let this one go as well. Is there someone you're looking at in this one?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of in the same spot here. I'm pretty sure that hype was just another Dana White Contender Series thing, because he was on the Contender Series but lost, and then went outside of the promotion to what looks like, Fury FC, and then got 3 wins, came back to the UFC on short notice. I think that's what it was, is he came back to cover someone on short notice when he beat Jake Hadley. Again, I could be wrong. This is just me looking through his Tapology and trying to remember, because I definitely remember the same thing, like Smotherman's name being mentioned a lot during a UFC broadcast, and I want to say it was probably for that. But this is again another one that I don't like seeing. Both guys are coming off two losses each, and there's nothing that's really jumping out of the page for me for these 2 guys. I think it obviously can be an amazing fight, but this isn't one that I'd love to bet on. I could definitely see this one going. I don't know what the line is for rounds right now, but they both average about like 12 minutes. So I think an under on a 2.5 is pretty, or an over on a 1.5 it would be a pretty cheeky one to put in.
Distance is almost minus 250. I was looking at that one as a potential bet there, just because I feel like
that's not bad. I mean, neither guy has, or no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, they both have gone the distance plenty of times, but it's, I think that's actually a pretty safe bet.
All right. Well, yeah, Turcios, I mean, just to touch on him, I think he is the 1 season of Ultimate Fighter. I watched him, and he did beat Brady Highstand on that, but that was like a long time ago at this point. So nothing really here from either of us on this one. We'll move ahead to an interesting one. Josh Hokit versus Denzel Freeman. So Josh Hokit obviously came in and had that super exciting fight on that fight night a couple months ago. I didn't realize he used to be a former college football player. I was looking at his Wikipedia to get that background, but I think actually NFL as well. I know he played for a couple teams in the NFL here and there. So hype is real on Hokit. He is a minus 225 in this one. Obviously, Denzel Freeman is also hyped up as well. I remember watching his fight in the it was on that Armin Sarukian fight night. But what do you think about this one? Is the hype real on Hokit? Do you think he'll quickly move up the heavyweight division, or will Denzel Freeman be able to provide a challenge from his underdog here?
I really hope so, man. I really hope so, because Hokit he's great on the mic. Like I remember him like in that it was that Randy Brown fight night that he was on, where he got his most recent win, and he was just so cool. He was so good on the mic. He's very funny, very charismatic, and I think it's kind of what the heavyweight division needs. I think this one, it would be more of a distance bet for me. I would bet on Hokit. You know, I'll throw him in a parlay. I do like I do like I do like betting on a heavyweight prospects, because it really can go either way. And usually the guy with more hype, I feel like, compared to other weight classes, will win, just because of how shallow the heavyweight division is. And when we do have these kind of like glimmering stars, like you know, Salsa Boy, who we'll talk about later, and you know, freaking Aspinall when he was coming up.
I think you grabbed 2 or 3 wins outside the rankings in heavyweight, and you're like fighting for a spot in the top 15.
Oh yeah, no, it's such a shallow division, and that's why I think when someone has the spotlight on them, on heavyweight, especially like the UFC's really pushing them, like Hokit, and the fan base too, like the fans love him. So I think that inspires people a lot. And in a weight class where any punch can knock the person out, and you know, just kind of I feel like the skill level is a lot lower, gets a lot lower a lot quicker the further you go down the rankings and stuff, compared to other weight classes. I think it's much easier to make a name for yourself, and it's much more likely. And for that reason, I will put this on a parlay.
Yeah, I like Hokit as well. I mean, Denzel Freeman, you know, Hokit didn't really start when he was young either, but Denzel Freeman's like 33. He's only got, I think, 6 or 7 fights. He's only got 6. I think it's 7 fights in the professional career. But yeah, I just don't really. I remember, I think he was one of the, on that card, he like went to the decision, or went to the distance, which in the heavyweight division is like a super rare thing to do. But
yeah,
I don't know. I'm going with Hokit. I think the hype continues. Both guys, though, Freeman's got 8 fights, Hokit's got 7 fights, only 1 loss between the two. So hopefully this is something to keep an eye on the early prelims, especially with you know, the first 2 fights.
This one's going to be fun. This one's going to be fun, and if Hokit wins, it's going to be a great mic moment. I think it will be one of those things where if he wins, you'll be sitting around with your boys and be like, okay, the UFC is back. Like, freaking grab me another beer.
Yeah, this will be fun. I think you're saying maybe over or distance on this one. I think under 1.5 on this one. Plus 154.
Again, it's a heavyweight. I don't even know why I brought up distance. I probably shouldn't have. It's a bad omen. It really is. I don't know what I'm talking about. It really is a bad thing to bet on in the heavyweight division. I think it's better to bet on a prospect in heavyweight, which I don't agree with every division.
I mean, Freeman's definitely a step up. A Hokit on his last fight got that dude out of there in less than a minute. So maybe he'll have something fun for us on these early prelims. All right. Next one we have is in the lightweight division. Michael Johnson returns after a big win.
This is an Unk Shin.
Over Daniel Zellhuber, going against Alexander Hernandez, who also had a big win in the UFC 319, where he beat Jay Super. Obviously, you know, big upset out of him as well. I think both big upsets. This will be a fun one too on the early prelims, as the early prelims started to heat up here. So what are you thinking between these two guys? Michael Johnson, I think a lot of people would expect him to be done by now, but he's still here. He's still fighting. And then Alexander Hernandez coming off that big win as well, kind of an underdog, and just his past couple fights. What do you think happens in this one?
Genuinely inspirational from both these guys. And I was someone who really didn't like Alexander Hernandez in his earlier career. Like, I wasn't super big into the UFC, but I always had a bunch of friends that were really into the UFC. And Joe, my boy Joe, is a huge Cowboy Cerrone fan. So I saw that clip. I don't know if you've probably seen the clip, right, of Alexander Hernandez before he fought Cowboy Cerrone.
No, what happens in it?
Pretty much on the mic, he's just talking the utmost smack, the most disrespectful smack you hear, just saying how old Cowboy Cerrone is and how he's not gonna do anything and how his time's over. And then Cowboy Cerrone goes in there and has an amazing performance and knocks him out cold. Apparently, they become friends since. So that was just my introduction to Alexander Hernandez, and I think this is an exciting fight. I'm kind of surprised it's not the featured prelim. I feel like both guys have for people so old, their stocks are on the rise, and you never really see that. You never really see that in the sport, and it is very exciting. I really think. I really don't know who to pick. I want to go Michael Johnson, though. That's where my heart initially went. That's where I want to go. Both guys have looked amazing, though. Both guys have looked really good for where they're at in their careers.
I think Alexander Hernandez. I think he's I don't know. I feel like he's 4-5 win streak right now. He's got a lot of things going for him where Michael Johnson's been doing well recently, yeah, but it's do we really know it? Did Denzel Hooper lose another fight after? Maybe I might be wrong on that. But he's on a 3-fight win streak as well. I don't know. I just feel like Michael Johnson's been kind of punching outside of that rankings, obviously. So is Alexander Hernandez, but I feel like Alexander Hernandez is going to come into this one and kind of maybe make a push towards the number 15 spot. I don't know. I think and Michael Johnson, I like him. He's on. He got that big W last time, but I feel like 37. It's hard for me to be he's got this one in the bag.
I don't think he has it in the bag. I don't think either guy has it in the bag. I think this
will be a tough one. Maybe
it's a tough win, and I low-key feel like it's not a huge booster for this. For guys who are both on the rise for their careers right now. I think a win here isn't crazy big because it's just the fans are just going to turn around and be like, oh, well, it was 37-year-old Michael Johnson. Oh, it was Alexander Hernandez, who's who's been very up and down in his career, and except for recently, he's looked amazing. I can't take that away from him. Chase Hooper is a crazy win to get, but again, so is Zell Hooper. Zell Hooper's lost, but he hasn't lost since then. Yeah. That's his most recent fight and and he lost. And the one before that was his crazy fight at UFC Noche, where he lost in the fight of the night, and it was a split decision. And then before that was when he was gaining all of his hype and was on a 3-fight win streak and was doing amazing. So for me, I more want to see Michael Johnson win. So now, talking through it, I might go more so for Alexander Hernandez because then it's a win-win. Either the guy that I want to win wins or
emotional hedge. Smart, yeah. Yeah. If you had to give one prediction for how this fight ends, you think it's a 3-rounder, or you think one of these guys can get something early?
Yeah, dude, I totally see this being a 3-rounder. I don't see either guy giving up in the form of tapping or anything like that. I see them kind of more just really slowing down. But then again, these guys have both surprised me in their last fight. So who am I to know? These guys might have a whole different bag that and game that I'm just not familiar with. Because every time
he's got 2 knockouts in a row.
Exactly. So it's it's hard. This is probably the hardest one to pick on the whole card for me personally.
All right. Well, we'll keep it moving. Another one on the early prelims, last one on the early prelims, is a ranked matchup in the flyweight division. Alex Perez, number 11, facing off against Charles Johnson, number 13 in the flyweight division, respectively. So Alex Perez, I did watch him in that most recent, I think it was the Sarukian fight night as well. He was actually doing pretty well against Almabayev. And then Almabayev kind of pulls a late submission on him. And then Charles Johnson's been kind of all around. I feel like I hear a lot about Charles Johnson. I just haven't had the chance to watch him fight. So take me through what you're thinking about this one. Charles Johnson and Alex Perez, two kind of seasoned veterans in the game as well.
I think I'm not a huge Alex Perez lover or believer, if I'm being honest. Charles Johnson is the guy with the crazy back of the head haircut. And I've always kind of just like seen that and always kind of betted on him. And it's kind of fogging my mind how much that's hit and how much that's missed. But he's someone that I do like to throw in on my parlays. And I think Charles Johnson is a pretty safe bet. Like going through it. I mean, the win over Lawner Kavanaugh is insane. Sadly, I wasn't able to watch this fight night. It was the China one that was like really early in the morning and I had work. It's a really good win. I think Charles Johnson is.
He beat Joshua Van, the champ.
He beat Joshua Van. It was back when Joshua Van, I think, was.
But that was like right before he went on his run, I think.
Yeah, that was his 4th fight in the UFC. So he was actually in the UFC for a decent amount at that point. But still, I think that's a great. I think that's a great pick. I think Charles Johnson is pretty safe here. I'm not a huge believer in Alex Perez. I do understand he's got a great skill set and he's gotten some good wins and honestly some good losses. Like the people that he's lost to are, Pantoja, Mokaev, Tyra. Like these are killers. These are killers in the flyweight division. But again, this is a year where I'm not going off their strength of schedule. I'm going off the product that I've seen them in the octagon with, and the eye test. And I just think, I'd much rather go with Charles Johnson here. And to get a ranked fight this early is awesome. Like both guys ranked, and it's
featured early prelim.
Like you don't always get that. You don't. Like I don't know. You don't always get this high rankings in the main card of fight nights. Like this is a great way to start off the Paramount.
I just realized, doesn't it start an hour earlier now?
Oh, that would be awesome.
I think it does. Because I was thinking about the format because we have 4 early prelim fights and only 3 prelim fights according to the website. So
whoa, that would be.
Well, you take a look at that. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
Charles Johnson. I got him pretty easily in this one. I kind of liked what I saw at Alex Perez, but the fact that he just kind of let that sub get him really late, I think even if Charles Johnson's down, he's the type of guy to just throw everything at the wall and do as much as he can. I also think this one is one that's going to go the distance, only minus 165 to go the distance. So I think that's pretty good for those odds. And yeah, I mean, Charles Johnson trying to make a run at potentially moving up the rankings. He gets the number 11 spot if he wins this one. Alex Perez has lost 4 of his last 5. You mentioned the killers that those people were, but I think it's just pointing to me like Charles Johnson's going to get this done. He's got the height. He's got the reach too. I'm going with Charles Johnson on the early prelims. Did you find anything in your research?
Yeah. So the early prelims are starting at 5, and then it says that the main card is starting at 9, which is I feel like an hour earlier.
It is an hour earlier. So there you go.
There we go. And I am getting 2 different things, but it looks like the UFC actual thing has it the way that you had it, but on Google it had it that this fight is the first fight of regular prelims and the last fight was featured.
Yeah, only 3 early prelims and then 4 regular prelims, 5 in the main card.
Yeah.
All right. Well, either way, either the featured early prelim or the first fight of the regular prelims. We move on. Another ranked matchup in the light heavyweight division. At least one person's ranked. It's Nikita Krylov. He's number 13 in that division. Modestas Bukauskas looks to take his spot. The ranked guy is the underdog. So I feel like sometimes we always are on champs as underdogs usually. But is there anything to be said for a ranked guy as an underdog, especially this far back in the rankings? Who are you looking at in this fight between Krylov and Bukauskas?
This is one that I think the odds makers have this pretty right. And this has less to do. Well, it definitely has something to do with like their strength of schedule. If you look at Krylov's wins and even his losses, like they're all against unks, and they're unks of the light heavyweight division at that. I mean, Reyes has been on a really cool streak recently. Although he did lose it, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he lost to Ulberg.
That's right. He lost to Ulberg, which is a tough fight. Like that's
Ulberg's
like one of the
first or second in line for this shot now. Title shot.
Exactly. So, and yeah, but like went over Spana, went over Ozdemir, went over an old Gustafsson is that's not great. Whereas while Modestas Bukauskas also has been going against Unks and Paul Craig and Kutalaba and stuff like that. I just kind of like Bukauskas' fight style a lot more. It's a lot more. I can see it winning a lot more than Krylov. I feel like maybe it's just recency bias because past two fights I've seen of Krylov, he's lost. But I just always see him crumple, man. I always and I feel like I always want to bet on him too. Like I know that he's kind of got that dog in him, but I don't have a good experience betting on him, so I'm going with Bukauskas. I remember he was the last. I'm pretty sure he's the last person I was able to bet the Paul Craig bet on, which I love. I love when Paul Craig was in the UFC and I can just bet on anytime submission because it always had crazy odds and always had a chance of hitting. But nonetheless, Bukauskas.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Krylov, it's looked rough lately. Where especially that Dominic Reyes fight, Krylov's like supposed to be this sort of fun fighter, and he is a fun fighter because like his fights end super fast. But he's been on the kind of losing end of that in his last couple. So that was a little bit concerning. And then obviously, took a KO to Bogdan Guskov in July. So it's like he keeps getting knocked out. It's looking like a downhill trajectory for him. And Bukauskas is trying to find his way up. I just think this is not going to be one that goes well for Krylov. But I do like the under 1.5 because every fight Krylov fights in is always an insane, at least first. Even I think the first minute was when Dominic Reyes got the knockout over him. I remember that fight specifically. That was a crazy one. And then Bukauskas is more here and there, like knockouts here and there, but I think he'll be able to get it done because he's going to have to give in to that sort of frenetic fighting energy that Krylov will be putting out there. So another fun one.
I forgot before we move on to the next one that Krylov was one of the last people to have that Paul Craig fucking anytime submission hit. Yeah, he was the last one that had a hit back in 2022.
There you go.
He lost to Paul Craig.
He's a legend. All right. Well, we've got 2 more fights left in the prelims. Maybe not the most appetizing bet-wise, but what do you think about here? We have another Ateba Gautier fight where he's he is minus 900 around those odds. I think he's always like minus 1,000, minus 800, minus 900. This time he's got Andrey Pulyaev in front of him, plus 600. So the difference here is I think last time it was like Tristan Bynes or something was against Ateba Gautier. Pulyaev actually has been in the UFC, has fought 3 fights within the UFC. So it's like we're taking little baby steps with Ateba Gautier. I think a lot of people are upset with him not getting a bigger name and him getting these kind of almost featured spots where, I don't know, it feels to me like they're just throwing him on this Paramount first card to get a nice knockout and be like, oh, look what we have for you, Paramount, But anything can happen, and you always like to take a shot in the dark with some of these bigger odds guys. So does Andrey Pulyaev warrant a $2 bet out of you here?
Against Ateba, no. I really like Ateba. He is probably one of the guys. If I was to pick out of everyone in here, he's probably like top 3 of the guys that I'm like, I love watching his fights because they're quick. They're going to be a cool knockout, and I don't know. I love seeing a guy like that rise because even if he gets beat, I'm not so emotionally invested in him. Where if he got beat, it'd be like just a cool feat of the sport. Like holy smoke! Like it'd be kind of like when Wellmaker lost to uh, uh Ewers.
Or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, like that. That was cool. Like that was cool, and I love watching these kind of prospects come up, and whether they win or lose, like whether he keeps on making a name for himself, or whether he loses it all on a plus 600 underdog. This is not one that I'm touching. This is not one I'm putting in my parlay. Maybe I might bet Ateba knockout if it's less than minus 120, or if it's like, a better odds.
Like minus like 400.
Yeah, it's gonna be minus 400, minus 600, something like that.
Yeah, what do you think about this potentially? Ateba Gautier usually gets his knockouts pretty fast. Do you think this has a chance to maybe go into some deeper range? Over 1.5's at plus 170 right now.
I would go over half a round.
Oh, yeah, I don't even know if that's possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big believer in it. But if someone was to beat him,
minus 500. So.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not touching this fight. Yeah, they added a line for minus or plus half a round. I would touch this fight.
It is there. Minus 350 over 0.5 rounds.
Minus 3. That's like the best odds I think you can get on this fight for something that will probably happen.
All right. Yeah, I don't have much in this one either. Maybe
this one's going to be cool though. Don't miss this one if you're.
Yeah, I think last one when I was at B-Dubs, this was just like on in the corner. I was like, oh, this is time for me to like chill out and not have to watch the fights at all. And then I was like, oh yeah, of course he just knocked out that guy he's facing because.
Yeah, this is a cool one. This is a fun one. Don't miss out.
All right, last one of the regular prelims. Is this one of the people you'll be hate watching? Number 2 ranked Umar Nurmagomedov at almost minus 1,500 against Deiveson.
I'm seeing these odds. What the fuck?
I don't know what happened. I think everyone's just hammering Umar. It must be that.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't believe this. Minus 1,450.
And it's against Figueiredo, some scrub.
Against former champ Deiveson Figueiredo, who's only what's his only loss to? Fucking Peter Yan in the bantamweight division. I think it's. Oh no, he lost to Cortes-Acosta too. Forgot about that.
Yeah, that was kind of people are kind of out on him. And he picked up a win after that. Didn't he beat that Jackson?
Yeah, he beat Montel Jackson. I don't really remember this fight at all. Oh wait, I remember this fight. Oh, it was a split decision win. Yeah, okay. I can kind of see why the odds are like this, but this is still crazy. This is absolutely one that I would throw a bone on. Like I would throw a little dollar on this because plus 850, and Umar just has to lose somehow. Like, give it to me. I know that Umar is very good. I know that Umar is more than likely a future champion. But goddamn, was that fighting against Merab just one of the coolest experiences for me as a fan of the sport. And because of that, my fandom is always going to be intertwined with Umar in a way that I would love to see him lose. But then again, a win also just raises Merab's stock again.
So I was going to say a win for Umar here. Do you think he jumps Merab in line? Merab takes some time off for Peter Yan? Or do you think Merab?
Well, that's up to Merab. If Merab wants to take the time off, then yes, the UFC would want to book Yan as quick as possible because that's a win-win for the UFC. Either they get Yan Merab trilogy or Umar gets a rematch as the champ against Merab. Oh my God. I would love to see that fight. That fight is one that I would love to see. If Umar beat Yan and then was the champion, like I wouldn't love to see this happen unless it was Merab's choice, like he wanted to sit out, like you said. But dude, that would be awesome. Umar beats Yan, and then he has the belt, and then all this shit talking happens again between him and Merab. Then he fights Merab. Merab takes the belt back and beats him twice. Oh, that would be beautiful. Cinema.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say I respect Umar for taking this fight where especially in the lightweight division, those top guys, we've seen them, we saw this burn Sean Brady, not in the lightweight division, but Sean Brady took that kind of extra fight when he could have got a title shot. He lost. Now he's out of it. Umar
That
could
was
just
stupid.
he could just sit on his ass and do nothing, but here he is taking on Deiveson Figueiredo, and it's not the biggest like, oh
Yeah,
shit, like you're not fighting like a Michael Morales, you're fighting Figueiredo, who's like he's good. He's a former champion of the flyweight division, but it's kind of a safer fight, but I do respect him for taking it because it's better than just sitting and doing nothing and then expecting a title shot. So I like that at Umar. I respect that. I'm not expecting like this fight to be something crazy. I think obviously Umar will probably win, and I think this one is one that'll go the distance. A lot of wrestling involved. I think this will be similar to the Mario Bautista fight with Umar and him, where like Figueiredo shows himself in a round or two, and then Umar kind of handles business as needed.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think Umar's going to feel him out pretty quickly, and Figueiredo is going to also be feeling him out to try and see. But the thing is that Umar's got such a good team and such a good game plan most of the time that it's gonna. I just don't. I really don't see Figgy winning. I don't know how he'd do it, but if he did, oh my goodness,
that would be one of the generational.
You best believe I'm somewhere popping off.
I think this is like that Peyton Talbot versus Raoni Barcelos range odds. He's like minus 1,500. So
yeah, odds wise, I'm pretty sure it's almost exactly. I think he was 850. I want to say plus 850 or 900.
So that'd be. I wonder. Do you know what the odds were when Juliana Pena beat Amanda Nunes?
I want to say that was plus at like 1,000 or something.
Yeah, maybe a little bit higher. All right. Well, that was the prelims and the early prelims. It's time for the main card. We did lose a fight on the main card, the title fight between Kayla and Amanda about a week or two ago.
We lost 2 fights, but one got they changed opponents. We also lost Alexa Grasso, Rose Namajunas.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't remember Natalia Silva being booked. Okay, so that makes sense.
She wasn't, yeah.
All right. Well, here we have a featherweight matchup. Gene Silva, I feel like we've talked about him a lot with the Fighting Nerds, and it's Arnold Allen who's back in the cage. We haven't seen him in a while. UFC 304, he beat Giga Chikadze. I really liked watching Arnold Allen in that fight. So that made me want to pick him in this fight against Gene Silva. I don't know. I just feel like Gene Silva, off that loss to Lopes, that's kind of like, the Fighting Nerds' stock is kind of down overall.
It's tough. And Rufy is like, quote unquote, leaving the Fighting Nerds.
Oh, really? I didn't even know
that. It's not 100%. He's just more training. I think it's a mistranslation from Brazilian stuff because he's just been training with Israel Adesanya and Volkanovski a lot. Like recently, a lot of stuff has been coming out with them. By the way, I just looked this up, and if Figgy wins, he's second highest underdog to ever win.
Who's number one?
Number one is Dobson versus Agapova, who is plus 900. Which I don't know either of these girls, but it's a women's fight. And then right below that is Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey, plus 830 for Holly Holm. And plus, and then fucking the GSP fight versus Sarah, Matt Sarah, plus 850 on that. Damn. All right, that's be huge. So that is a fight to watch out for because that could totally happen.
All right. Well, what do you think here between Arnold Allen and Gene Silva? Arnold Allen is higher in the rankings. It's been a while though, almost 2 years. I think a year and a half, basically.
I think this is awesome. I think this is a great fight. I think it's going to be a fun fight. Regardless, I don't think this is a great fight for either dude's stock. Maybe Arnold Allen's stock for possibly getting a title fight. I've always thought of Arnold Allen kind of as just like a watered down Dan Hooker. Like I always find their kind of fight styles very similar. They're gonna just lay it all on the line and throw absolute haymakers and hopefully connect. Probably take a shit ton of damage during it. But and with that being said, I think Gene Silva's gonna have a better game plan. As while he is crazy, he does usually because he's with the Fighting Nerds, have an amazing game plan for his opponents, and I think this one especially is going to be probably spectacular. Because he's got to avenge the loss after that. Like, that was a terrible way to lose that Lopez fight. He was working very hard during that fight, and I could see him pulling out a win for sure. And then just a spinning elbow, like crazy connection, sends him straight to the shadow realm. So I got Gene Silva.
You think Gene Silva knocks him out?
That's a great question. Yeah, I think he
He'd be
finishes
the first
him.
to do it. Arnold Allen's
I think he
never been-
finishes him. I don't know if it'd be a knockout. I think it'd be more likely to be a submission win, kind of Bryce Mitchell-esque, like what Gene Silva did to Bryce.
I'm going with Arnold. I don't know why. I don't know.
That's
I don't trust Gene Silva. I don't think he wins this one. I don't know why. But I think if Arnold Allen is to win this fight, maybe a split decision, maybe a majority decision. I don't see Silva going out back to back. And I definitely don't see him getting the submission over Silva. So it'd have to be a knockout. I just don't see that happening. So I think it'll have to be a decision, but we'll take a knockout too for Arnold. One of the only really underdogs, actually maybe the only underdog, but we'll see later, that I like on this card. So Arnold, I got you. Let's go. It's been a year and a half, but he's been ready, hopefully. That's what we're hoping. All right. Well, we'll keep it moving to the fight we just mentioned. Natalia Silva, the number 2 ranked women's flyweight, jumps in on how short notice of this was against.
Oh, that's a great question.
Rose Namajunas.
I want to say it was definitely before Kayla Harrison got injured. Let me see. But I believe I do love this fight. I mean, to be fair, I love the fight, or to be honest, I love the fight before this more. And I think we lost 2 of probably what would have been the like the 2. What it would have been an amazing start to women's MMA for 2026 to have these 2 fights like be the first fights of the year. But with this one, I'm.
It's looking like it was early December, so Natalia Silva did have some time.
Yeah, she has time, and Natalia Silva has been a dog. She's been a dog. And I think she wins this. Again, this is a fight that she doesn't need to take. Like, she's ranked number 2, and she's next for the title shot. She was in the crowd for the Valentina versus Weili fight. She was ready to she's ready for this. I can't believe that she took this fight, actually. So it would be a real egg on the face if she loses this, which makes me kind of want to bet on Rose, because Doug Rose gets it done sometimes, man.
I feel like the old Doug Rose is different. Like, I feel like it's been a little bit tougher sledding recently for Doug Rose. I don't know.
That's true.
I feel like her style has been like less flashy, which like is less entertaining, but I feel like she's been more conservative in her fight. I mean, and maybe that could help her. But I just feel like Silva's gonna come out and dominate this one, because I mean, Figueiredo had a nice knockout over somebody, and I don't think she auto draws into a rematch against Valentina. But I don't know. I feel like Silva's gonna want to go out there and prove something. But as always, we'll be looking at the distance for this one. But I like both these women, so it's going to be tough to watch one of them lose this one. Especially Rose feels like she's kind of entering the last stage of her career, maybe.
Totally. She's like, I shouldn't say totally like that, but like I can totally see why you see that. And it's going to be interesting. I think this is going to be a really, really fun fight. Again, I would have loved the Alexa Grasso fight versus Rose Namajunas, because I feel like just legacy wise, like that is such a fun fight. Like, how often do you see like 2 like former champs like that? Like, they're like, again, like the women's divisions are still pretty shallow. Like, they're deep. Like, they're deeper than they used to be, but like those are like 2 like real champs that we had. And it would have been exciting, but this is what we got, and we're gonna have to be happy with it. It could just be Natalia Silva just coming up on, and this is just her road to the title. I really don't know where I'd go on this. I would love to put money on Thug Rose, though. I think I'm going to probably put money on Thug Rose because she's an underdog that.
I would just, if you're going to take her, probably just take her separately.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to probably this.
I like Silva. I think she gets it done.
I love Silva. I
see
think
Silva
Silva's
Shevchenko in the couple months.
That is the fight to make.
Yeah.
That is definitely the fight to make.
And then that might be the last one for Shevchenko. Maybe, who knows? But all right, well, we're down to our last three. The aforementioned heavyweight division. Someone you talked about, Salsa Boy Waldo Cortes-Acosta on an insane run. Obviously, some crazy fights included in that run. He comes in here against Derrick Lewis, obviously one of the bigger icons on this card. Maybe one of the biggest, probably top 5 names in this card for sure. Heavyweight ranks matchup. Waldo looking to continue his streak. Derrick Lewis has been doing okay here and there. I feel like he's been kind of hot as of late. So you taking a stab on Derrick Lewis, or do you think the train continues for Waldo Cortes-Acosta, even 2 months off, or about 2 months off, where that had been like double the time he had off between any fight is before that? But what do you think here?
This is an awesome fight. This is an awesome fight. One of my coworkers is Dominican and loves the UFC, and he loves Waldo Cortes-Acosta, and he's been so excited for this fight, and this has been a fight that and Waldo Cortes-Acosta has been a guy who I've been very I don't want to say, I guess critical is a good way to put it, because I want to say I first started noticing him when he beat Robelis Despain. That was back in 2024, when Robelis Despain was coming up, and he was like this kickboxing or whatever it was, karate or some champion, with the craziest build and the craziest look. Robelis Despain was just someone that I was putting on all of my bets. And I was doing this after only one win in the UFC. I just thought he was that good, and he was that big of a favorite against Waldo Cortes-Acosta. And then Cortes-Acosta just goes out there and just demolishes him. Like unanimous victory that was just filled with takedowns, if I remember correctly. And he was just the better fighter. And then I just started watching him more and more, and then every time I'm super critical of him. I'm usually betting on the other guy because I always think, oh, that was such a weak win. And then each one of his wins just keeps on getting more and more spectacular. Sure, he has that loss against Sergey Pavlovich. I did miss that fight. I did miss how that
was the China card as well, right?
Yes, that was the China card as well. So I wish I saw that, but I saw his past 2 fights, or not his past 2 fights. I didn't see the Shamil Gaziev was part of that.
That was a crazy fight too.
I missed that freaking that card too. I missed that whole Sarukian card. So I am missing out on some of this lore, but that Ante Dalia win, the Survey Spivak win, the Ryan Spann win, the Robelis Despain win, these were all great wins, and after each one, he kept on getting better. And that's why I really do believe in Salsa Boy to be the next guy that kind of puts the UFC on their heels. Like, okay, we need to get Tom Aspinall to actually fight Cyril Gane as quick as possible, or else we're gonna have to have an interim belt because Waldo Cortes-Acosta is on too much of a run. Because that's totally what would happen. This is such a starved division again of personality, and not to say that Tom Aspinall doesn't have it, but the rest of the crew, Cyril Gane has zero fucking personality. He is such a boring guy. And not to take anything away from him, but when you're looking at this as a business and you're looking at the moves that the UFC would want to make, because it's an environment that works together. The UFC needs to make something that's watchable, that makes the fans want to watch. So they're kind of doing what you'd want them to do most of the time, or at least in theory. And so I think having someone like Cortes-Acosta doing the shit that he's doing, is just going to make it so much more exciting. Because, like, who really wants to see a Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall too? Like, sure, actual UFC fans would find that very, very exciting. It does have absolutely, it has the chance to just be the fight of the night whenever it happens, because that first fight was crazy. The buildup was insane when they were listing off all the stats between the two guys. But Sergey lost his touch. Like, he lost, not his touch, but he lost his, like, hype. Even though he beat Waldo Cortes most recently.
Yeah, he's less of an exciting fighter, I think, now.
He's less of an excitement. He's less of a draw. And because of this, I think that I just think that the UFC heavyweight division is just starved. Like, I really think that's the best way to put it. And I think I think the Salsa Boy is what's going to feed him. I think the Salsa Boy is what's going to feed this starved division. If he does come out and get this win, this is a huge milestone. This is a huge checkpoint to beat Derrick Lewis, because, as you said, he is one of the biggest guys, literally and figuratively, like, just in the sport. He created like a whole culture of UFC. Like, my balls are hot. Got a whole Manscaped ad. Like, he's an enigma of the UFC. He's kind of what people who don't watch the UFC probably think every UFC fighter's like, because his clips are everywhere. Like, I love Derrick Lewis. I would love to see him get a win. I don't know how much I'd love to see him in a title fight, but just in general, I like to see him do good.
He hasn't faced Tom, so
that's true. But, like,
neither of these guys have. So
I don't want to see him in a title fight. Period. I don't care who it's against. It would be cool, I guess, but I don't know.
Here's my thing with Derrick Lewis. It's like he's beat Talistone Teixeira, who just made it down to the 15th, and that was like a questionable stoppage. Rodrigo Nascimento, he lost to Jailton, lost to Spivak, lost to Sergey, lost to Tai Tuivasa, lost to Cyril. Like, his last really good win, in my opinion, is over Curtis Blades, and that was in February of 2021, you know?
That's what I mean. And, like,
I think he's 40.
And he's already had 2 title shots and lost them both. One was against DC, sure. The other one was an interim belt with Cyril Gane. Like, and again, not to say Cyril Gane is ass, but then that would have been pretty exciting. Derrick Lewis versus John Jones, that would have been kind of exciting, build-up wise, and probably fight-wise. I mean, anything would have been probably more exciting than Cyril Gane just giving up and getting submitted in 30 seconds, if you're not a John Jones fan. But I digress. I think Salsa Boy is what's needed to quench the hunger of the UFC heavyweight division. Business-wise, it's what I want to see. Because I want to see the UFC be bigger and be huge. Like, I want to see the Paramount shit work for them, because then we don't need to go back to the dark ages of pay-per-view. And yeah, I think Waldo Cortes-Acosta is what could do it, because also that whole fan base, like the whole Dominican and, like, South American fan base is like, they are ready for some champs, man, and they get hyped when people are in that run. Like, I will never forget the crew that Michael Morales had at UFC. It was like every other fan had the Ecuadorian flag on them, and they were just like so hyped, like crying when he won. Like it was their brother winning it. Like, I love to see that shit. That's what sports are for, man. And I think Waldo Cortes-Acosta and his fan base amplify that. And Derrick Lewis and his fan base is just a lot bigger and a lot wider, but a lot quieter. And
I don't know. I think it's time for Derrick Lewis to maybe start thinking about retirement. I'm with you. I got Waldo. I thought the odds would be closer in this one, just because I feel like maybe this one will get closer as we go to fight night, because the public kind of likes Derrick Lewis.
I think it's going to go further.
You think?
I think it's going to go further.
Okay. Well, this one already jumped. This was at 325 earlier when I was looking at it. Now it's 355 for Waldo. Yeah. So get your Waldo bets in now. Definitely. Under 1.5 round is only plus 114. Under 2.5 is minus 200. So does Derrick Lewis I feel like Derrick Lewis doesn't go out easy though. That'd be the only problem.
Oh, it's all up to him, man. Derrick Lewis, if he gives up, he goes out easy, man. He got knocked out by Tai Tuivasa, he got subbed by Sergey Spivak, the polar bear. Like, what are we doing? Like, I really think that And again, I shouldn't shit on him this much because he's really fun. He is an awesome fighter. He's a great fighter. When he reinvented his game for that fight against Nascimento, like that was really cool. That was really cool. Or no, it was his fight against Marcos Rogerio de Lima. That KO was crazy, and that was very cool. But again, I'm just out. I'm out on Derrick Lewis.
Yeah, I think I'm with you here. I was looking at either fighter to win by knockout, but that's minus 275, so I'm not sure that's really worth it.
Nah.
All right. Well, the new co-main event is Sean O'Malley and Song Yadong. You may have a checkered past with Sean O'Malley. New opponent.
It's not checkered. It's straight up. Don't like the guy.
So you don't like him. Hate watch. Is that activated with the Song Yadong money line at plus 70 here?
Oh, absolutely, brother. Absolutely, man. Oh my god. And
Tell
to
me
make
about
him
Song Yadong, because I don't know much about him.
Song Yadong, he was on a great rise. Great Chinese prospect who had, wins over Chris Gutierrez, Ricky Simone, which I know these are a lot of guys that we say are kind of cones, kind of easy to go through. He's lost against some great people, Corey Sandhagen, Peter Yan, just like Figgy, actually, funnily enough. And I am not super familiar with Song Yadong. The only times I've seen him fight have been because he really only fights on Fight Night cards. The only time I've seen him fight was against Henry Cejudo and Peter Yan. And the Henry Cejudo fight was rough because that was the eye poke fight. I don't know. I would love to see Song Yadong win. This isn't really a much of a knowledgeable pick. It's just Sean O'Malley's always been cringe in my opinion. He's been a great fighter, got great hands. He beat my favorite fighter, Aljamain Sterling, and then got beat twice by Merab in hilarious fashion, which was awesome. And now he's doing he had to apologize for all that. I don't know if you saw the
face mask, yeah.
the racist stuff he was doing for the build up for this fight, which is just dude. I know it's the UFC. The UFC kind of has a fan base that's a lot more. They're not so up in arms about stuff like that. But come on, it's also more of a sport about respect and stuff. I hate when fighters go the Colby Covington route, and I feel like that's what Sean O'Malley's doing. He's always got one foot in the shit talking space of UFC, and then he's got the other foot in where he's like, "Oh, guys, I'm no fap. I just make jokes and stuff. I smoke weed sometimes, but I quit for this fight camp. This fight against Merab, I quit smoking weed. I quit jerking my penis, and that's it." He makes me so mad. And the worst part is if he was in any other weight class, there's a chance that I might find some of his stuff funny, that because he is a funny guy. It's just I don't know. I have a sour taste in my mouth from Sugar, and I don't like him. I personally don't like him. Nothing really against him personally. It's just he's someone that I don't prefer. And I think it's very high, very much more than anyone that I really see, just Dana White privilege. Maybe Paddy Pimblett, but the thing about Paddy Pimblett is that he wins all his fights so far.
Yeah. So
except for the Gordon fight was debatable, and maybe when he becomes champ, then he has a Sean O'Malley type of thing where he just loses to one guy and then never gets the belt again. I don't like the Sean O'Malley. I don't like the Sean O'Malley storyline. I don't like the idea of him getting a title, because if Sean O'Malley wins, let's be real. If Sean O'Malley wins and Merab wants to take a break, who's Peter Yan going to want to fight more? The up and coming Nurmagomedov wrestling and a better striker, one of the better strikers of the Khabib camp, or the guy who got a pretty fraudulent win over him early, or was it the other way around? Did Sean O'Malley lose to Peter Yan early on, or did he beat Peter?
No, he beat him. It was rigged.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, that's what I'm remembering it right. Yeah, it's one that Peter Yan is probably itching to get. Yeah, split decision fight of the night. Itching to get that back. Like he probably wants to do that fight more than the Merab rematch or trilogy. So, like, I really don't like the idea of Sean O'Malley winning because I just see all of that opening up. That whole that Sean O'Malley's going for his third title challenge or fourth. That would be his fourth title. No. Third title challenge, fifth title fight. I always forget about the Cheeto Vera defense.
Yeah, I think this is all setting up for O'Malley to win.
It is. That's the worst part. Is like almost anyone else in them. I would have much rather seen his ass fight Umar, but that they would never do that. They would never do that to him.
It's just that wouldn't happen. I would be interested to see him versus like Sandhagen.
That's always been a fight that I've always wanted to see.
On that because Sandhagen's like lower, so if Sean wins this, it's like he's gonna be fighting for the title, and especially against Yan, who he beat, quote unquote, beat before. I think it unfortunately is setting up for Sean to maybe take some time off even, and then wait for the results of that kind of trio of Merab, Yan, and Umar to play itself out.
Corey right now is fourth. He's above Song.
I know, but like if O'Malley wins against Song, it's like he's not gonna stoop down and. I feel like.
From this fight after, yeah.
Yeah. Assuming I think Sean wins this fight, I have him winning by decision. But
I completely understand that. And
if Song wins, it shakes everything up. And Sean O'Malley, I think if he loses this, becomes more of like a late stage. Well, that's not even fair to say, but like what I was gonna say, I think he becomes more of like an entertainment fighter rather than going for like title shots,
like a Michael Venom Page kind of thing, but a young. Yeah. Which I would love. I would kind of like to see. Like I would like to see that more. Like kind of what Corey Sandhagen kind of is now. I still am kind of. I don't know how I got that title shot. Just by breaking Figgy's leg. But yeah, I think. I just don't. I really don't want to see him win. I totally 100% am with you. I could totally. That's the vision that I have in my head is Sean O'Malley winning by KO or. By a point decision, like I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't think Song will go out, get knocked out. I think this will be like a return to form for O'Malley, where like he looks good in like the first and third rounds or something, and then it's like, oh, we gotta get this going for Sean O'Malley. Whereas like there's not really a lot of hype behind Song Yadong, and I don't know how much we've talked about this, but there is always that if it were to go down a decision, who would get the benefit of the doubt? We've seen Sean O'Malley to get the benefit of the doubt, so it's like
insanely.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got one fight left, the interim belt for the lightweight division. We got to keep our main event. An interesting fight that this even got made with Ilya being kind of out of the picture, and we can touch on that depending on who you think wins this fight. But it's Justin Gaethje, in my opinion, is even less deserving than Paddy Pimblett. He was like, I'm not fighting again until I get a title shot. He's really kind of annoying in that build-up, and the fact they reward him with one is annoying to me. But he's the underdog here. Obviously has the more experience. Coming off a win against Figueiredo, going against Paddy undefeated in the UFC. Definitely one of the bigger names within the UFC of hype-wise. People love to hate him. People love to love him. How do you see this one going down? Gaethje, Pimblett, Saturday night. Interim belt on the line.
This has got to be maybe other than Lewis, Derrick Lewis versus Cyril Gane. This has got to be the goofiest interim title fight of all time. Like, are we being so fucking for real? The fact that this one was announced interim title, but interim lightweight title, world championship title was announced, and then what got announced either same day or right after? Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira, BMF, who are the number 2 and the number 3 ranked guy in the same weight class, and Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett are 4 and 5. Like, can we be fucking for real, man? Like, what are we doing? First off, what in the world did Arman Tsarukyan do? There's no way Dana White hates him this much over that one weight miss. There has to be a lot more to the story, because what the hell did he do to piss off Dana White this much? Arman Tsarukyan should have had the title, should have been able to fight for the title 3 fights ago, like 3 title fights ago. Like it's insane to me at this point. What did he do? Because it's not even like he's not that big of a draw. Like, I feel like he's maybe to the average, like, casual fan, Arman Tsarukyan isn't as big of a draw as obviously a Paddy Pimblett or a Justin Gaethje or a Charles Oliveira or Max Holloway. I'm not saying that he's at that level, but like, for the sport, like, let's be fucking for real. How long is this guy going to be ranked number 1 before you give him a title shot? Like, let's be real. I'm sick of it. I don't like Arman either. Like, I'm not a fan of his. I don't like the way that he talks in the media. I think he's a wet blanket, and I think when he tries to be entertaining, it just comes off as cringe, or it comes off as just annoying. And I don't like this fight. I don't like this fight either. I think this is a nothing burger of a fight. I think it has not just the chance. I think with it being a nothing burger of a fight, I do think it is going to be an exciting fight. I think this is an A+ UFC fight night main card, like fight night, main thing. I think it's an A+ fight night.
Even a co-main.
Or even a co-main of a numbered card.
Yeah.
I think this is like way better than Song Yadong versus Sean O'Malley. I'll give it that. But dude, I am so not excited for whoever wins this to fight Ilya. Maybe I guess
that's gonna be my question. Like, do you think anyone even has a chance against Ilya?
Yeah, I think everyone has a chance. I think in this sport more than anything, everyone has a chance against everyone. Like, it's a day-by-day sport, especially Ilya just went through some rough times, and you can very much get in your own head about it. You can very much overplan or underplan for a fighter. I think everyone has a chance, but god damn, it doesn't even matter if they could beat Ilya. It just, something about this just seems so fucking boring. And not to say that I won't be excited for the fight, not to say that it's not going to be an exciting fight. As I said, I think this is going to be a banger fight, and I'm super excited for when the main card drops, because it's a title fight. Like, it's going to be awesome. It's something that I got to watch as a UFC fan. I got to see who's going to get crowned. But goddamn, dude, like, I would feel so unworthy if I was these guys. Like, Paddy Pimblett beating not a single current top 10 ranked lightweight. Not a single one has he beat. And there's a lot that he could have fought that fight pretty frequently. Like, he could have fought Moicano, could have fought Fiziev, could have fought BSD, could have fought Gamrot, could have fought Dan Hooker. Like, him and Dan Hooker are beefing right now. And like, it's just crazy to me. And Justin Gaethje is coming off just the win over Fiziev, and then 2 losses, right?
Flatlined by Max on one of the biggest knockouts ever. Yeah,
the flatline by Max, and then he got that crazy knockout on Poirier. I forgot about that. But then 2 wins over Fiziev.
Well, that was what, like 2-3 years ago at this point?
Yes, that was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He doesn't fight that often, which, to be fair, it's because of how exciting he is and how much he puts on the line when he is in the cage, which I gotta respect him for. But damn, dude, man, for the sport, I'm just not excited for this. I'm excited to watch it. Again, I'm excited to watch it. If this was just the number 4 versus the number 5 ranked guy, this is an awesome fight. But it's for a title, and I just feel so blech about it. I would have much rather this be for a BMF belt, or a BMF type belt, like a fake, like, I don't want to say fake belt, but like not a championship belt. Because again, why the fuck are you having 2 and 3 fight for the BMF, but for the BMF belt, when you're having 4 and 5 fight for the title? There's got to be a crazy pay difference. That's
I
the
think
only thing I can think of.
I think they're trying to draw in Patty versus Ilya because that's been going on for years.
That has been.
And I don't know if you've said who you really think is going to win this one. I think Patty Pimblett wins this fight.
My head says Patty. My heart says Justin. Out of the two, I'd much rather see Justin get the belt. I think because I like Justin Gaethje. I really do. It's just I don't. You're right, dude. In this build-up, he was so whiny about just not wanting to fight
And it's
anything
it's
other than
frustrating. Gaethje's like the guy's like, I give everything, and you see it. Like
It's true. He's not
he was
lying
willing
about that.
to go into the middle with Max and throw,
He's not wrong about it.
5 rounds.
But a win over Fiziev gets you a title fight? A win over Michael Chandler?
Gaethje already beat Fiziev before.
He already beat Fiziev, and this one wasn't short notice. I think the other one.
Hooker, I think, and then
You're right. That was
I think
both
awesome were actually short notice.
Both of them were
Fiziev fights.
You're right.
That's what's making me a little nervous about this one for Gaethje because I remember I bet on him over Fiziev, and everyone around me was on Fiziev, and it was scary. I compared it to watching Volk versus Lopes, they got the win, but it was very scary. Any moment,
I never felt comfortable. Yeah,
something could happen. So I think Patty's going to win this, and I could see a submission out of Patty or even a knockout. I think this one isn't going to go the distance just due to Justin Gaethje's nature. I'd be very surprised if this goes 5 rounds either way. But I think this is lining up for Patty interim champ. Wait for Ilya to come back. Ilya probably just is minus 800 against Patty. And then the trash talk, they do maybe put that international fight week. I think this is perfect planning by the UFC, but going by what actually needs to happen in this division, especially loaded at the top like the lightweight division is. It's frustrating. I agree with you on the matchmaking side. I remember Thanksgiving when they were announcing the Paramount on that halftime. I was very frustrated with this and the next pay-per-view main card, which we'll talk about next week. But I feel like the matchmaking has been still bad so far on the.
Oh my God, I forgot about what the next one is. Yeah, no, you're right, dude. Oh my God, dude. They're lucky that they had us so starved for some fucking fights. Because if this was mid-year, oh brother, I would be pissed. Again, not I'm not gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. But
I think that's our problem though. We'd watch anyone versus
I watched the fight nights, yeah. So it's I get it. The thing is, I get it. I get why they do this. I get why they've done this in particular. It's the first fight on Paramount. They're saving the good title fights because apparently there's going to be a bunch on this White House card, which still feels fake to say. I don't know. We get so much information. We get so much information on this card, but still know nothing about it. We get so much leaks and all these little things and tidbits about it. It still seems fake to me, but it's apparently going to happen and apparently going to have 5 or something title fights. So it's pretty good lining up. And I get why they had to do interim title gold. But why not have this be the BMF should have been this, and then this would have been a cool fight as a title eliminator. But then again, how do you not give the BMF the title shot? Okay, I kind of get it. I'm speaking through it right now. I kind of get it.
I think it's Ilya knocked out Max and Charles.
Oh, yeah. You're right. So that actually it's a good point. It's kind of they could have done what they kind of did with the Madison Square Garden card, where it was after that card, Carlos Prates and Michael Morales both have a very, very good argument for title shot next. And then the week after they have Ian Gary fight Bilal Muhammad. So I just don't see why they didn't just keep the belt out of this. It is kind of good that we still have a title fight after we lost the fight that was the one that I was easily the most excited for on this card, which was Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. Oh my God. Did you ever get a chance to watch Prime Amanda Nunes? Do you understand the hype?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That would have been an insane fight.
It would have been insane. And Kayla Harrison has been the hype. She's been This is something that has been brewing for years, this fight, and it just got taken away like that, man, and it sucks. It was by far the fight I was most excited for on this card. So it's tough. It's tough, and I'm pretty upset with the matchmakers for sure, but I kind of also kind of get why it's like this, because of both the BMF guys lost to the champ. I'm just sad, man. I'm just a sad freaking UFC fan who wants to watch the fights again. Next week, I think we're gonna be in a different mood set. And even oh my god, dude. I'm now thinking about that card next week, and oh brother, I just can't.
We'll be here covering it.
Yeah, we'll be here. We'll be here, man. That's ridiculous, dude. This is a way deeper card though, so this is going to be a much more fun, full watch for you and your homies whoever you get together to watch this with. The next week's going to be a lot more top heavy for sure.
Yeah,
but just be excited that the UFC's back. I guess
we're getting fight night. We're getting good fight nights. We're getting at least main events. So it's a good time to be a fan as always. Paramount Plus an hour earlier. What can you complain?
That's huge. And no more pay-per-view.
No more pay-per-view. Paramount should be running. Imagine Paramount crashes. I feel like that's going to happen.
Almost assuredly that shit's going to happen, man. I feel like these streaming services don't know what they're signing up for until but they have football.
Yeah, they've probably done much bigger events.
Okay, so yeah.
All right, well, it's time for our best bets. So read us either your parlay. I know you said maybe Rose on the side is a little straight bet. What do you got cooking for this Saturday?
All right. I did see a fun parlay. This isn't exactly what I'm going to do, but I did see a fun Dana White's privilege parlay that you can build. You put in Paddy Pimblett. You put in Sean O'Malley. You put in Umar. You put in Ateba. And I think that was all of them.
Why even put in Umar and Ateba minus 900, minus 1450?
It was just because it was this isn't my parlay. This is just one that I saw of just put in all the people that Dana White loves to push. But my actual parlay that I would actually do, I think a fun underdog one would be Arnold Allen. Again, I do think Gene Silva's going to win that fight, but I think a fun underdog one, Arnold Allen, Rose, D-Lou. I think that's a fun little three, or not Rose. Yeah, I'm not putting that one in there. Was Bukauskas plus money? No, who was? It was Michael Johnson was, right?
Michael Johnson's plus, yeah.
Yeah. Michael Johnson, Allen, D-Lou, Unction. That's a fun one. But my actual feels, the ones that I would actually put money on, Paddy Pimblett, money line. Salsa Boy, money line. This is a tough card. This is a tough card to build. Gene Silva money line. Those are my three. That put $5 on that. I don't know what the return would be, but probably something decent.
All right. Well, I've got five parlays for us. So starting off prelim parlay, we got Hokit, Alexander Hernandez, Charles Johnson. Those two together plus 271. Distance prelim parlay, so Turcios, Smotherman, Perez, Johnson, Umar fight. All three of those to go the distance is plus 296. Unders, we got Gaethje and Paddy under 3.5. Waldo, Cortes-Acosta, and Derrick Lewis under 2.5. And then Krylov, Bukauskas under 1.5 plus 295. Single play is the underdog, my only underdog, Arnold Allen, plus 210 on him. And then the main card parlay, we got Waldo, Cortes-Acosta, Sean O'Malley, Paddy Pimblett, and Natalia Silva. Those four together plus 245. If you use DraftKings, you can get a little boost, I'm sure. Hopefully they'll have a boost for UFC parlays. And that's where we wrap up this UFC 324. So we'll be back. UFC 325, bunch of fights announced. I'm sure we'll be talking about some future events, and maybe we'll find out some main cards in the the run of this card as we go. But excited for the Paramount era. An extra hour of sleep, can't complain, and hopefully these fights end up providing some entertainment for us. So, anything else you wanted to touch on UFC wise before we wrap up here?
Yeah, I think this is a very monumental point in the UFC. Like, just when the UFC teamed up with ESPN, them teaming up with Paramount, I think is going to open up a lot of avenues, because I think streaming is really where entertainment is going. And I think that was a part that they were really missing out on. Just to kind of get nerdy about it, it's like that, just how much money it was to keep up with the UFC and to keep up and to go back and watch old fight nights and old numbered cards. Like, it was fucked up money. Like, to get that, what was it? It was the ESPN. You needed an ESPN Plus account, and then you needed the Fight Pass, and then or something, right? And then you needed,
I don't even know.
And then you also needed to pay for the pay-per-views. Like, the pay-per-views weren't included in that. So it was it's exciting to see. I always am for stuff being more available and more easily accessible to the vast populace. I'm an introverted guy, so I love the fact that it's easier for me to not have to, go out to bars and watch the UFC fights. This is an exciting moment for me. This is what I've been wanting since I've kind of gotten into the UFC. I've always been sick of using streaming, like the streamies of the world, or going out and having to hear a bunch of people yell over my King Joe Rogan talk about choking out a mother trucker. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this era. I really hope that it sticks. I really hope that this is what we think it is, or what most people think it is, and that it's a new era and it's only building from here. Like, I think could be great. This could be great for the business. I'm so excited.
Go. Paramount era. We're here. Are you still streaming on Twitch and still?
Haven't streamed in a while. We took some time off. I just got another promotion at work, so it's been.
Hey, congrats.
Thank you. I've been grinding. I've been a lot more busy with that stuff and kind of just gaming for fun. But there's always the chance that I go back. So please throw a little shizzy a follow. Throw on that bell thing, so you get a notification if I'm live. Because if I am live, you don't want to miss it. Must Watch TV, twitch.tv/LILSHIZZI. Tap in.
Lock in. Let's go. It's our year. Little Shizzy and Dubcast on top.
On top. Plus, we're going to be having the post fights. Maybe not this card, but if it is this card, that'd be sick. Most likely next card we can do. I would be so down for a 2 a.m.
Okay.
Hop on.
I don't know the logistics. I need to work on the logistics because,
yeah,
roommates of it all. But we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll talk about that off pod. But let's freaking do this. UFC's freaking back.
Actually, it being an hour earlier, I think that helps.
It does help. That means it'd be at like 1 a.m.
We could go live even.
True. We could go live. I always see you. Every time I always wake up the next morning and I'll see you guys just went live for the NFL stuff, and I'm like, dang, I just missed freaking Mikey, Cam, and Dub, bro. Oh my! Every time.
That's where we at.
I'm locking in on one of them soon. Super Bowl one. I'm gonna be in there for the
Super Bowl, and then I think we're gonna do actually. I'm gonna do Super Bowl, and then directly after that, if we do it Wednesday, we're gonna go right into a live NBA trade deadline show. So maybe you can jump in there. It's gonna be a round table, so anyone can join if they want to.
That's fun. The NBA, I've not been watching though. It's been crazy though. I heard it's been a crazy season.
Yeah, apparently a lot of trades might happen. Who knows? All right, well, that'll do it here. Until maybe the recap. If not, we'll see you guys for UFC 325 only next week. So thanks, Shane, for joining me. Some exciting stuff ahead, hopefully, and enjoy the fights, everyone. Be good.